Hey everyone, it's Kino here. Thanks so much for tuning in to this 1-month beginner yoga challenge. Thanks for keeping me updated on your practice. You're doing so awesome. Remember to like this video and leave me comments. Keep me updated. Be sure to subscribe. Today's practice is all about Purvattanasana, the reverse plank. It's kind of difficult, so be ready for a challenge. Bring your hands together and we'll initiate the sacred space of the practice. Tuning into the body, remember that every lesson and the journey of yoga is not only physical, but is really a spiritual practice. So as we meet some challenges today in Purvattanasana, this reverse plank pose, think about what is the lesson that you can learn from this pose as you move deeper down into the inner body. We'll start off with the sun salutations to bring a little fire, heat, and circulation in the body. So come on up to the front of your mat. Before we begin, draw the belly in, tune in to the center line, lift the kneecaps, and just feel your body weight floating over the soles of the feet, your weight distribution moving from the right to the left side, eventually being evenly distributed along the central axis. Initiate that deep, resonant breath with sound, saying the sound sa as you inhale, ha as you exhale. And then we'll begin with surya namaskar. Inhale, raise the hands, following the center line, look up to the thumbs. Exhale, suck the belly in, look down, hands down, all the way down. Inhale, lift your chest up, and exhale, let's step it back to plank pose. Plank to chaturanga dandasana. You can go all the way down to the ground for the first one. Inhale, either easy cobra, lifting the chest up, or all the way to upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Walk the feet so the feet are hips width apart, hands shoulder width apart. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Looking forward, inhale, walk, walk, walk your feet between the hands, chest up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up, raise your hands, and samasthitihi, back to standing. Let's do that one more time. Hands in prayer. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, belly sucks in, fold as far as you go down. That's good. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, let's step it back to plank. Plank to chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this time to tune into the inner body, tune into yourself today, holding your body in a calm, equanimous, peaceful state. 4, and 5, looking forward, stepping forward, feet between the hands, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up, all the way up, and samasthitihi. Okay, let's go through Surya Namaskar B, the second variation of the sun salutations, hands in prayer. Bend through the knees. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold forward, go on down. Inhale, chest up. I think we're ready for a little hop back. So press from the shoulders, bend your knees, and let's go for a little hop, hop. Okay, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Okay, here we are. We're gonna step forward to warrior 1. Turn the left foot out, planting the heel. Inhale, right foot forward. Press down into your back heel, come forward. And all the way up, finding your warrior 1, press through the legs, exhale, nice and slow, hands down, spin that foot forward, shoulders forward, come on back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, come forward to upward facing, exhale, downward facing. All right, let's do the other side. Turn the right foot out and step forward with the left. Inhale all the way up. Warrior one, left side. Exhale all the way down. Hands down. Turn your foot forward. Come on back to plank. Plank to chaturanga. Inhale, come forward to upward facing. Exhale down. Press from the shoulders and equalize yourself in downward facing. 5 breaths. 1. Tune into the inner body. Make peace with the body and the mind. 2. 3. Understand really that yoga is both a physical and a spiritual practice that is a lifelong commitment to living a life of inner peace. We can't expect in just a few practices to really get to that heart, but we can set ourselves up in the right direction. 1 more breath. And looking forward, let's do that little hop forward. So big push from the shoulders and inhale, hop. Lift the chest, exhale, fold, and bend your knees. Inhale, press the palms into each other, all the way back up. All right, now we're done with the sun salutations. We're going to begin some standing poses. Inhale, take a step out to the right side, and then turning your right foot out. We're going to move into Purvattanasana A, drawing the belly in. Inhale, sucking everything in, and slowly find the strength of your legs. Curling your right forearm down and extend that left arm overhead. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Feel the strength and solidity of your legs. If you feel comfortable, you can dangle your right hand on the outside, coming to your fingertips. 4. Eventually flattening the palm, but no stress. And 5. Drop the shoulder down. Inhale. Come on all the way up. Turn it around to the other side. Take a moment as you draw the belly deeply in and then stabilize through the legs. So send that left knee forward, but remember your back right leg. Drawing the belly in, hook that left shoulder down, roll the right arm up and gaze at the right fingers. 1. Feel your legs underneath you. 2. Dangle your left hand if you can, reaching the fingertips. 3. Sink the torso into the empty space behind the left hip. And if you can, you root down through the left hand. 4. And 5. Rolling down. Inhale, come all the way up. And back to Samasthiti. Pause for a moment. Find the center line, find your breath. Inhale, step out to the side. Now, place your hands on your waist. Remember the days of the wide leg forward bend? We're integrating them into our practice. Drawing the belly deeply in, turn the hips back, sending the pubic bone back, taking the hands to the ground. Then inhale, lift the chest up, and exhale, drop your head down for a moment. And you can grab a block, placing your head right on the block, or if you can lean forward until your head is down, that's good too. Those of you who are flexible, your hands can move back and your head right between the feet. 5 breaths. 1, 2. So remember, you don't need to do it on your first try. So just work with your body wherever you are for today and let yourself commit to the long journey. Grab hold of your hips and see if you can just tip the hips a little forward and avoid squeezing with the toes, but again, just root down into the bases of your big toes. 3, 4, gazing at the tip of the nose. Use your hands to press into the ground, avoiding too much pressure on the neck. And 5. Inhale, lift the head up, and exhale. Activate your inner thighs a little bit, and inhale, come all the way back up, and exhale. Now we'll move on to the C position. Very important shoulder position that we work with for Purvattanasana, okay? Here we go. Inhale, stretch the arms out to the side. Exhale, interlock your fingers behind your back. We're going to roll the shoulders forward, so that's that internal rotation of the shoulders. Then lift the center of the chest up. Exhale, pivot forward, 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 dangling the head down, and then roll the shoulders forward. So care more about that rotation than you do about taking the hands to the ground. So here we are, dangling the head. Try to get the head down or the head on your block before you go any further. Then just think about rolling the shoulders forward. So that's the corners of the shoulders come forward while your collarbone spreads wide apart. And we'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1. Remember, it doesn't matter how far down you go, just think about rolling the shoulders forward. Eventually, one day, you'll touch the ground, but please don't try to pull yourself to the ground. Just roll forward. Notice your fingers. If you're squeezing really hard with the fingers, just soften. All right, soften, melt through the body. Engage the quadriceps, but soften through the shoulders. Speak the language of flexibility, which is the language of total acceptance, total peace with yourself. 4 and 5. Inhale. Come all the way up. Pause for a moment. You might feel a little dizzy. If you do, just close your eyes. And hands to your waist, nice and calm for a moment. Activate your inner thighs and exhale. Let's return to the front of the mat, coming to Samasthitihi. Drawing the belly deeply in, then send the hips back, drawing the thighs towards each other. We're going to hold Utkatasana, the chair pose, for 5 breaths. Maybe a little more than 5 actually, but we'll start off with 5. Hands in prayer, draw the knees towards each other. 1. Suck the belly in. 2. Steady breathing. 3, 4, and inhale, hands up. 1. Steady your breath. 2, 3, 4, sink down, feel your quadriceps. They might be a little sore from yesterday's back bending practice, no problem. Hands down. Okay, let's do a little hop. Hop. Hop back to plank. Plank for a moment. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Okay, stabilize the shoulders, and then we're going to practice that glide through. So, switching your gaze forward, right between the hands. Right foot, left foot, press from the shoulders, glide, glide, glide yourself all the way through, and exhale down. Okay, come to a seated position for a moment. And let's just get really acquainted with what's happening in the shoulders. Okay, now we're going to work with extending the arms in a neutral position. So inhale, raise your arms out to the side in a T shape. Then stretch the arms and stretch, 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 reach to the maximum breath, the maximum length of the arms. Hold for 5. 1. So this is a neutral position. 2, a wonderful therapy for the shoulders. 3, 4, and 5. Now we'll work with external rotation of the shoulder joint. Grab your little finger and start to spin upwards while maintaining the full length of the collarbone. 1, open the fingers, almost feels like you're holding a ball. 2, draw the ribs in. 3, 4, back to neutral. Reach, reach, reach. Grab your thumbs and let's roll the shoulder joints forward. And this is internal rotation of the shoulders. Avoid collapsing the collarbone and instead broaden the collarbone. 2, should be kind of difficult, but in a difficult yet challenging but acceptable manner. 3, almost there. Talk to the shoulders. You guys are good. 4, and back to neutral, reach, 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 and let them drop down. Okay, just shake it out for a moment. And now when we're working with the shoulders, it's very important that you acclimate yourself to feeling the collarbone. So let's find the collarbone. Grab your hands and just find the center of your collarbone right here where your clavicle meets your sternum, the sternoclavicular joint where the sternum and the collarbone come together. Okay, you never want to feel any pressure. So when we're doing Purvattanasana, sometimes people can feel pressure right here. If that's the case, you want to come down and glide your fingers out to the corners of your shoulders. Right here, where your collarbone meets your shoulders, a place called the acromion process. You never want to feel pinching sensations here because it means your shoulders are out of alignment. You want to be very careful of these 2 points. All right, when we're doing Purvattanasana. So that was a little anatomy lesson. Now we're ready to proceed into our pose. Some of you left me some comments saying it would be useful for me to explain the anatomy, so thank you for your feedback. Now we did. I hope that was useful for you. Okay, so now coming out with your legs straight, we're going to move into Purvattanasana, the reverse plank. Point your feet Draw the kneecaps up and roll your thighs towards each other. First, we're going to simply set the legs up. So I want you to really use your legs. Use the legs by pulling the knees deeply into the body and then sucking the belly in. You're going to lean back. So lean back, hands go under. Now your hands come somewhere about a foot behind you, okay? Fingers point towards your toes. To make this nice and easy to start, after we point to the feet, we're going to bend the knees, but keep the feeling as though your toes are pointed. It's going to look a little bit like a tabletop position. So really work with the shoulders. Your shoulders point forward, all right? Elbows draw in. Focus on that internal rotation of the shoulders while the collarbone broadens. Then, slowly, sucking the belly in. Inhale, press into the legs, sending the hips up and forward, dropping the head back. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1. Gazing at the nose tip. 2, really pull the shoulders forward. 3, 4, and 5. Sink the hips down and cross your feet underneath you. Take the hands forward and let's go all the way back to plank, plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. We're ready for that glide through. So step, step, glide, glide. Keep your butt up and down. Okay, continuing our journey to Purvattanasana. This time we're going to keep the legs straight. We'll give the wrists a little bit of a break. Draw the belly in and lie down, coming onto the elbows this time. Now this is a great modification if you have a wrist injury or if you just feel like your wrists can't really take the full pressure of lifting the legs. So now we're coming onto the elbows. This is not an easy pose, even with the elbows down. So here we are, and just get nice and stable. Belly is in, sucking the belly in. Okay, here we go. Start to press as you inhale, just little up, exhale down. We're gonna do that a couple times. Now, as soon as you go up, right, as soon as the hips go up, you're gonna feel your glutes want to squeeze real tight, but don't squeeze the glutes as the initiator. Instead, suck the belly in. Don't try to push your toes to the ground. Just take a little up with the hips. So we'll do it again. Inhale, hips go up and forward. So watch your hip bones and up and forward. Inhale, root into the elbows. Exhale down. 3 more times. Inhale, tip it up. Exhale down. Inhale, tip it up. Exhale down. Keep the belly in. Inhale, tip it up. Exhale down. Okay, let's come on all the way up. You should feel some intensity in the shoulders. I don't like to hold the one on the elbows too much. Just use it as a movement technique. Now, what can happen when you start to lift the hips up is your belly can pooch out. So you really got to keep the belly in. Now we're going to try it with the arms straight. So lean back and then pointing the feet. This one we're going to hold for 5 breaths. Roll your shoulders forward, elbows in. Now do not try to touch the toes down or point them too hard, or you get a little cramp in the back of your calf muscle. So if you feel that, you want to just soften the feet and then point them forward, but don't try to reach them to the ground. Then hips go up and forward, and think you grab the pelvis from the inside right here, hips up and forward, belly inside. Follow the instructions step by step. Point the feet, roll the toes in, kneecaps up, and then think hips up and forward, hips up and forward, hips up and forward. Look at your belly. Make sure the belly's in, hips up and forward, hips up and forward. If the belly's in, drop the head back. 5 breaths. 1, 2, gaze at the nose. 3, 4, and 5. Exhale down. So that was hard. If you needed to bend your knees and repeat the tabletop, no problem. Okay, cross your feet underneath you, hands forward, and let's do a little hop. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Switching your gaze forward and inhale, step, step. Glide, glide, glide all the way through. Exhale down. Okay, and bending the knees into your chest. Drop the knees out to the side. Baddha Konasana. Remember this pose? Maybe your favorite one, maybe not, all right? So remember, grab your blocks and place them underneath your knees if you want a little extra support. When we do postures like Purvattanasana, your inner thighs, they can get real tight, so we're just gonna release the inner thighs with a simple Baddha Konasana. Okay, let's take it nice and easy. Let's just hang out here for a moment. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Just to tune into the hips and back to the center. Find your pubic bone. Inhale. And send the pubic bone back, back, back. So remember to be so patient with yourself. Wherever you got to in Purvattanasana was great. Wherever you're getting to in Baddha Konasana today is great. It's perfect for today. It can't be anything other than what it is. What is simply is. So we drop the argument with reality, and instead we make peace with our body, we make peace with what is. You can drop the top of the head down and just hang out here for a few moments. Eventually you'll be all the way down, but don't force. And we'll stay here for a couple more breaths. Nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. Inhale, come on back up, and exhale. Draw your knees up and extending the legs outward. So take it nice and easy. We're just doing this to help release the inner thighs. Take a moment and just recognize, your body is a sacred space. Don't fight with the body. Don't abuse the body. Make peace with it. Draw your belly inside. Send your pubic bone back, hands down. You can grab your block and rest the elbows on the block if you want to, or if it's accessible to you, you can rest the elbows down. Keep your quadriceps active. Resting your chin on your hands. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly, slowly come up for a moment, and you may take the hands forward, coming down a little bit deeper onto the elbows, potentially resting down your chin on your hands or the chin on the block. We'll stay here for a few more breaths, so don't be totally passive here. You're lifting the kneecaps in and the pubic bone's moving back. And slowly, let's come on back up. And I always like to balance strength with flexibility. So now we open the inner thighs. Let's see if we can just get a moment where we get a feeling of a lift up with your hips. And you're going to bring the legs into a little bit more of a V shape. And we're going to do this in 3 different ways. Take your hands and you're going to place your hands so that they move in a diagonal. Your shoulders are going to follow your hands, okay? So here we go. You're going to lean the shoulders forward, just like you're in a plank. Push up from the shoulders and then send the hips back. 2, 3, 4, and down. Let's do that again. So it's just as simple as shoulders forward, tighten up with your lower abs, and hips back. 2, 3, 4, and down. Now let's do the other side so you can keep your legs in the same position and turn your hands over, okay? So your hands line up in front of the left foot, and it's as simple as just pressing from the shoulders and your hips move back and up. So your hands are forward, move your shoulders forward, tighten the lower abs, and then inhale, hips back and up. 2, 3, 4, and down. Let's do it one more time, and I got a little surprise for you. I want you guys to come back to this video and practice, not just this once, but again and again and again. So if you do make it through the full 30 days, you can, when you're at the end of the challenge, you can go back to the beginning and start again. So here's a little preview what might happen. Your shoulder's going to come forward, and then one day as you inhale, your feet also come off the ground. 2, 3, 4, all the way down. All right, that was pretty good for today. Take your feet underneath you and a little easy hop back to plank, all the way down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's look forward. Step, step. Come on all the way through. Keep your butt up. Exhale down, and let's glide all the way down. And inhale, pull the right knee into your chest. Exhale, easy reclining twist. 1, close your eyes. Surrender down into the inner body. 2, 3, 4, and back to the center. Right knee switches for the left side. And exhale all the way over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come on back to the center. Draw the knee in, and we'll rest in constructive rest position for a moment. Tuning into the inner body. Feel your sacrum on the ground. Feel your mind in a calm and harmonious state of equanimity. If there are any burdens on your heart, like any worry or anxiety, feel yourself kneeling down at the temple of the innermost spirit within and ask for those burdens to be lifted. Place your hand on your heart for a moment and just feel that quiet space of deep and inner connection. Now we'll move a little deeper down into the pelvis. You could bring your feet together. Take your right leg, pull it in. Cross it over the left. So you notice the left knee drops a little in. And squeeze your legs together a little. And then we're going to bring the knees over to the right side. And nice and easy. Don't force them to the ground. We're just going a little over to the right to release the hips. 2, 3, 4, and back to the center. Switch the legs. Lift the left knee up, cross it over. Right comes in a little. Then squeeze the knees and over to the left side. 2. You're going to find one side more flexible than the other. You can see my left side is a little bit more flexible. So we don't judge the body and say we have a good side and a bad side. Just remain equanimous and just observe. Oh, one side is tighter than the other. Some days it's rainy, some days it's sunny. What is simply is. We're still on the beautiful planet Earth and we're still blessed with another day of life. Come on back into the center, back to constructive rest position for a moment. Place your hand on your heart again and just tune in. And slowly all the way down. Take a moment and just shake a little. You can shake your feet a little. You can shake your hands a little. On your head just side to side. And then let it all go. Let's have a nice big inhale. And a sigh out. And again inhale. One more. Inhale. Let everything go. Experience a calm state of total peace. Rest in the knowingness of your wholeness, your completion. Rest in the true self-knowledge that sees yourself through the eyes of spirit, celebrating each moment as a blessing. Choose a life of peace. Choose a mind that is trained to equanimity. Choose a brave and courageous heart. Choose to live the yogi's life, one breath at a time. And allow yourself a deep inhalation, moving through, bending the knees and the elbows. And draw the knees into your chest. Give a little squeeze, a little roll, all the way over onto your side. Come on back up to a comfortable seated position. Remember to be real patient and tolerant with yourself as you begin to practice every day. Give yourself ample time to really build up, return to the practice every chance you get. Never judge yourself for how far you got into the pose, but instead celebrate the pure gifts of the practice and your opportunity to join this sacred tradition. Bring your hands gently together and inhale. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide in the inner tradition of yoga. Remember to tune in tomorrow to continue your journey on this 1-month beginner yoga challenge. Namaste.